All right, we're going to be working on installing an Outequip 12-volt air conditioner, and let's go through the box real quick. I did just cut the straps off, save a little bit of time. So when you open up your box, so here's most of the parts. So you can see here's the air conditioning unit. Here's the whip that it comes with. These are the mounting brackets that will go up underneath, securing it down. The remote. A bag of hardware. And here is the plate cover and the interior module, and of course the directions. So what I want to show you here is this unit will come with these, which will be they're a firm foam, which will help support the back of the air conditioner to keep it level. This is what you will use underneath here and around the hole in your trailer, which will secure the hole from the inside to the outside. It'll prevent any water, air going through. And you'll see in here there are these hard pucks. These are in there to prevent, so that'll allow it to squeeze down so far, and then the unit will hit those and it'll make a firm hold. The box, has all of these parts, and it's all pretty straightforward as far as I can tell. You do have some zip ties with some sticky pads to help hold your wiring in place. It comes with the hardware bolts and nuts that will assemble the unit, and then your direction book, which will show you basically how you want to go through, put the foam around the openings to do some sealant, and shows you the openings of the hole. You'll see this when you get your own, and it just kind of goes through a step-by-step process showing you how the wires are, where they're at. This is a pretty good instruction manual. It has a couple of photos showing the air conditioning unit, the screws going in, warnings about not over tightening, so this is what you're going to get when you buy this unit. And from there we're going to move on to some installation. So we'll be back. So here's the body of the Outequip. Excuse me, 12 volt. This one is the air and heat combination. This is all your main wiring coming through, and this is where the whip for the main wires come out. And what I did, instead of having to come out the side where it was, because I'm doing a new installation and I have room inside the trailer, I didn't want to put an extra hole in the roof. So I cut the whip and rerouted it inside. So when I'm in my 14.5-inch hole, these wires will follow them. They're just like when you're wiring a 120 volt air conditioner. Same ends. And then when I was in the trailer, I actually used these same wires to run the length of the trailer inside. So you can see, let me just show you real quick. Sorry about the messy shop floor. But these are the same wires off the whip. Because they gave you a generous, it's like 15 feet of this 4-gauge wire, which is awesome. But it runs here through the roof and into the DC breaker again, and this is what comes with it. It's got the 100 amp inline fuse. I'm running the 63 amp breaker, and then it's going from there. I know this is going to look messy, but directly into my batteries and through my shunt, and that way I'm able to watch how much discharge each mode of the air conditioner, be it in turbo mode, air conditioning mode, or heating mode. And then I'll post an update once I'm at that point so you can get some real numbers. So this is the top of a trailer. It's a new build that I'm working on. You can see the 6 gauge leads coming in. They go into that panel box down there, and then this is where they're coming out. I did have them going in down, and you can see way over there where it was coming in, but I'm going to have to switch it to go to this side. So I drilled some new holes. I'll put some new holes in down there, and that way the wires will be going in this side. This spot right here is where the whip from the air conditioner comes in, and the wires will go out down through the 14-inch hole that it says it fits, and it does. So we'll do an update in a moment. So just real quick, the old wires, there's where it's coming through. I rerouted it through this side into there, and then into the air conditioner hole. When I'm doing new siding on a trailer and I can redo it, you do see I have the regular roof trusses, and then I have this piece of 1/2-inch plywood just around the 2 holes. This is going to be for a 12-volt electric fan that's going to go in this space right here, and then that's going to be the air conditioner. This is the bathroom. That's the main trailer. And if you just raise it up a little bit, it just keeps the water from wanting to pool because this is raised higher. So it's just another step to try to help make sure it doesn't leak, which it won't leak. We'll be back. So I know it's a little dark in here. I have the power off because we're not connected on this air conditioner, but these are the mounting brackets that come with it. And you can see I have mine installed with the trough down. That way when you put the bolt and nuts in, they'll recess up inside this. If you had it the other way, which it would still fit, but then your bolt is going to stick down way farther, your nut's going to stick out further. Oops, sorry about that. And which is going to take your cover off the roof. So instructions don't say, but I'm pretty sure that this is the way you want to install these. We'll be back. So next is going to be this control panel, and if you notice, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 connectors, but coming out of the unit there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 plugins. So you're not missing anything. There's nothing else up there. It's all wired and bolted down, just ready for the shroud to go on right now. So don't worry about the last plug-in. You can't mess them up because the way they're set up, you will get them connected the right way the first time. So just an update. So I did have this installed, and I had the brackets mounted flush to the ceiling. But at that case, in these scenarios, the interior shroud doesn't sit flush to the ceiling. So what I did is the thickness of, this here, I routed it up that high. So now when you look, that piece there is flush with the ceiling, and then that will allow the finished interior piece to sit flush. So we'll update you once we have that back on. So I'm just going to do a quick update. When I got this, I'm used to the other AC air conditioners, and normally you would make these brackets here and here wide for better stability, but let's see if I can go from this side. When you do that and this bracket's running across here, which I can show you, the gap between this bracket and this edge isn't enough to finish, to put the finished panel up in there. It's too tight. So as you can see, I have new lines drawn. I'm going to recess it and move it back to the closer one. So that way everything should fit as it's supposed to. Like I said, the instructions on this aren't clear, so it's kind of hit and miss. So hopefully this video is helping you out. All right, well, that didn't take too long. I just made new spots. And as you can see where my old one is, I routed it out deep enough to make sure that those sit flush, because it does leave a gap around your finished trim. So that is all complete. And when I route, I just used this kind of cutter, set it to the thickness of that metal plate, and we were done. Hopefully you appreciate the cut video, because I don't think you need to sit here and watch me do any nuts and bolts and routering. So we'll be back shortly. So just another thing real quick on these bolts here, how they're going up and in. As you can see, I have the long side going in with the short side out. When you put these in, they should go up all the way and stop. And there's just enough for this end to grab the bolt to tighten it up. So I would suggest going that direction instead of only having the support with this little 3/4 inch space. That's just how I'm going to do it. So just FYI. All right, here should be the final video on installation of this Outequip. So this is the 12-volt air conditioner. I do restorations on vintage travel trailers, so I have a board up here because you can't just climb on these roofs. And as you can see, the gasket came around. I did cut it to fit. When I do mine, the 14-inch hole that you put this in, if that's the opening you have, I prefer this gasket material to be tight around the opening. If you use the gasket as big as it is, it leaves a space around the hole, which there's nothing wrong with. That's just not what I like. So I just cut it to fit better. And if you can kind of see in the back, I have the spacer in the back, so it keeps it at a certain plane so it doesn't, tip down too far. And this side up here is the front of this travel trailer. So do make sure that when you install them, that the slope of this is facing towards the front. We'll take a quick travel down the ladder into the trailer. So here is the unit installed. I made some modifications to get it tight up against the ceiling, because the way it is right now, or when you get it, it'll leave about a 1/2 inch gap up there. Let's see, here's the installation. And the remote it comes with has pretty much all the functions. So when you turn it on, you can kind of see what's happening here. So it's on air conditioning. And you hear it's got the soft start going. So that, right, what you're hearing is the air conditioner running. It's pretty quiet. My fan speed is on 3 from max. It's blowing cold air. These are adjustable turrets, so you can direct the air to whichever direction you want. The remote, you can turn the LED off at night, but the AC will still run, just so you don't have to look at those lights. If you want to see your voltage, you can see what voltage it's pulling. It's got a light option at night for night lights. It's got a timer option. Pretty much you can see on the remote everything it has. So it does work pretty well. So that's how loud it is. And when you're outside the trailer, it's not any louder. So if I turn this off, that's it. The unit's off, it's installed. It's very quiet, puts out cold air. This one does have the AC and the heat. And when you switch it over to the heat unit, it just kind of powers down, goes to heat, switches it over, and runs heat just as well as it does air conditioning. So there you go. I hope this installation has helped you learn a couple things about this Outequip Pro.